When you search how to start a vlog channel on YouTube, one of the first results you're gonna come across is this video from Think Media. And after watching it myself, I have one thing to report to you, and that is vlogging is not dead. Look, I have nothing against the guys in the video, and I actually agree with a lot of the points that they made. However, I do really believe that you don't need to just start another boring, hyper niche education channel on YouTube in order to grow. People on this platform are growing with fun, vlog format, lifestyle content. You just need to know how to do it right. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Before we get into exactly why I believe you can still grow a successful vlog channel in 2022, I want to address why the methods suggested in that video by Think Media that I mentioned, and this tends to be the method that I come across quite often in the world of YouTube tips, is I believe not exactly the best way to grow a YouTube channel anymore. This typical way of growing a YouTube channel just doesn't work like people think it's going to. And trust me, I've experienced this myself. Okay, so here's the pitch. This is the idea that most people have around YouTube growth. You start off by growing a hyper niche channel, meaning you only talk about one topic forever and ever, all the time. You make really specific videos and you optimize the hell out of them with SEO. So you use a ton of keywords in your description, you use lots of tags, and you make sure that your title is as long as possible with all the keywords stuffed in there. And then you just keep posting consistently about this really narrow subject area so that YouTube can identify you as an expert in that area and ensure that people are gonna find your videos via search. Then, the pitch goes, once you've established an audience for yourself using these SEO methods, you'll be able to pivot and start expanding your topics and talk about maybe lifestyle things or start a vlog, and your audience will still be there to come along with you and they'll keep watching your videos. But here is where the problem is. It's not so easy to make that transition. So to be clear, I agree with a lot of this method. Like, you can slowly and steadily build up an audience using these SEO techniques. Like, lots of people have done that and that does work. But the part that doesn't work so well is thinking that once you have a big enough audience, you'll be able to pivot and do something entirely different, because at that point they'll just love you for you, and so then you can become the vlogger that you always wanted to be. I always thought that once I hit 100K subscribers, then I'd be able to post about whatever I wanted and everybody would still watch it because I would just be so famous by then. And that's what I told myself when I kept making the same kind of niche videos for a long time, thinking once I get to this point, then I'll be able to be a travel vlogger, it'll all be good. Obviously, that did not happen. Here's the thing, when you grow a really niche channel based primarily on SEO, so bringing people in who search for what you are creating, maybe you're answering FAQs, providing tutorials, you might not realize it, but you're kind of creating a transactional sort of YouTube channel. Let me explain what I mean by transactional. Let's say I search on YouTube Sony a6600 camera review or Peak Design backpack review, and I come across a helpful video related to what I'm searching for. I will probably watch that video, get what I need from that video, and then go back to my homepage and start watching stuff that really draws me in and engages me. I might subscribe to the channel if I think that they're gonna provide more interesting information on what I want to know in the future. But chances are, if I subscribe and then I see videos from them that aren't directly related to camera or gear reviews, then I might not watch it. That's because this whole interaction has been a transaction. I looked for something, they gave me what I was looking for, and then I said, thank you, I'm going back to my homepage again. But when you create a vlog, when you tell stories in your videos, then you build a relationship. It's not just a transaction. People get connected with you and invested in you on a personal level. And I think just the way that YouTube is formatted and the way that we digest these videos, when we come across videos organically, either through the homepage, through suggested videos on the sidebar, and we're brought in by an interesting thumbnail or a really intriguing title, and then we're drawn into that story, and then We keep watching more videos because we're also drawn into the story of the video on their end screen. This builds a relationship. We get invested with who we're watching. But when we find them through search, it's much more of a, okay, I need this, you gave it to me, goodbye. It's much more of a transaction when people find you through search. And this is the difficult thing. It is very, very hard to transition a transactional channel into a relational channel. And hey, I feel like I'm kind of in the process of doing that a little bit. I think that it is possible if you think about how you can connect your content with the topics that your subscribers came to you for. How can you integrate a little more personality? How can you integrate a little bit more story? But it's not gonna be just as easy as saying, I'm posting vlogs now. Because trust me, I tried to do that and it didn't go well for your girl, so. But you might be wondering, okay, Katie, so focusing only on search is going to then build a transactional channel. I don't want that. How do I get views then? Through the homepage, my friends. It's gonna be through showing up on the homepage. So how do you get onto the homepage with your vlogs? Well, let me tell you. Your vlogs need to have a really compelling story. And this is where a lot of especially beginner vloggers fall flat, and I'll be honest, myself included. This is something that I'm currently working on my vlogging channel, Katie and Dan in a Van. It's not enough to just provide a play-by-play of your day. There needs to be a reason behind what you're sharing. Think about the primary question, why should a stranger care about this video? If you can't come up with a good reason, then it's not gonna perform that well on YouTube. And that doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile making, like it's good to create vlogs for your friends and family for practice, but if you're really interested in growing, you need to consider, why would somebody else wanna watch this? Let's use a potential travel vlog as an example, so I can show you how the same exact content, the same exact experience in life can be shaped into either just a play-by-play sort of vlog or a story. So let's just envision that we're on a trip together right now. One way that I might talk about the events that happened on our way to our destination could be, we missed our flight, but we got onto the next one, we made it to our destination, and then we went out for some local food. So you can see how that is really just a log of what happened. Even if you show B-roll and you bring people through each action, you're still essentially just showing, we missed our flight, we got on the next one, we made it to our destination, we went out for some food at a local restaurant, right? ABCD. Okay, nothing much interesting about that, it's just a series of events. But you can take that exact same experience and shape it into a story. And to do this, you need to focus on the rise and fall of events, the potential conflict and resolution to what you're going through. So maybe this vlog actually looks like, I don't know if we're gonna make this flight or not, but if we don't, we're gonna be forced to take the next one, and then we're gonna end up in a brand new city alone in the middle of the night. This really establishes the stakes of your story. So what is the potential conflict? Missing the flight. What's the stakes of it? Well, we'll end up in a city by ourselves in the middle of the night. Then, in the moment of action, oh my gosh, we did miss our flight. I can't believe this. I don't know what we're gonna do next. This is your conflict. This is really the tension in your story. Oh gosh, we missed the flight. What's gonna happen next? So we got the next flight, and then a local cab driver took us to our Airbnb and gave us a great recommendation on where we could go to get something to eat. This is the resolution. This kind of ends off your story, leaves the viewers with a satisfied feeling of, okay, there was some conflict there, but we got it figured out. So you can see how on the surface, a very basic series of events that you might be tempted to just describe in a couple of sentences like I did in my first example, can actually be turned into a really gripping story that draws the viewer in whether or not they know who you are or are already invested in your life. Then you can use the conflict or the tension in that story to create a really intriguing title and thumbnail that draws the viewer in and makes them think, oh yeah, how did they work that one out? Now, of course, in this example, I talked about a travel vlog, but you can really use this process of storyfication to anything that you do, whether it's just a day in your life or anything else that you want to vlog about. Just really try to look for where those moments of conflict or tension are. How can you set them up by establishing the stakes, and how can you kind of finish them off by providing a resolution? Another super component of telling a successful story with your vlog edits is music, which is where the sponsor of today's video, Epidemic Sound, comes in. If you're a YouTube creator already, chances are you've heard of Epidemic Sound. It is the go-to place for creators across social media to find music that you can actually use in your videos. Here's how it works. When you sign up, you'll sync your profiles, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, with Epidemic Sound. And then you can start using the music that you find on Epidemic Sound in your content, copyright strike free. I love browsing Epidemic Sound to get inspired and to find the perfect music to bring a story or a mood to life in my videos. It's crazy just how much a little music can completely change the game and really draw your viewers in and keep them watching. Check out this vlog edit I did for my recent trip to Quebec City without music. Welcome to Quebec City, a historical and beautiful city here in Canada. We're excited to learn French and take in the culture, so come along with us. And with music from Epidemic Sound. Welcome to Quebec City, a historical and beautiful city here in Canada. We're excited to learn French and take in the culture, so come along with us. You can check it out at the link in the description below to get a 30-day free trial. And yes, any of the music that you download and use in your videos in those 30 days is approved, even if you don't continue with your free trial after the first month. So make sure you go check it out. There's so much awesome music to choose from, and it's going to totally transform the story in your videos. Okay, so having a really good, engaging, and compelling story in your videos is definitely the top priority. But second on your list, and it's a very close second because this is very important, is having a really solid title and thumbnail that pitches the story of your video to your potential viewers. This is so essential because if you can't even get your audience to click on your videos, then they're never gonna be able to watch it and fall in love with you and the story that you're telling. So you gotta make sure that you grab their attention when they are scrolling on the homepage. I like to think of the thumbnail as like the first scene in your story and the title as like the first sentence. Or you can also think of it as a snapshot from that moment of tension or the conflict that's coming up in your story. Think about how you can portray action and movement and tell a mini story just in the thumbnail itself. And then write a title that generates curiosity and really try to kind of migrate away from that mindset of putting as many search keywords in your title as you can. Write titles like they are the headline of a newspaper article, not like they are a keyword stuff blog post title. This was really hard for me to do because I have always sworn by the SEO method. You can see if you scroll back on my channel, even to like March or April of this year, I was still writing long titles, including as many keywords as I could. And then around April, I would say, I kind of had this mindset shift where I was like, I gotta stop focusing so much on search and focus more on getting on the homepage. So I really shifted how I wrote my titles around there. I tried to make them short enough that you could actually read them in the number of characters that YouTube previews on the homepage, and also create a thumbnail that really complements it well. And I saw huge results since doing that. My channel was quite stagnant or a little bit on the decline from like, I wanna say February to like April of this year. And then since I really changed how I did my titles and thumbnails, focusing more on telling a story, teasing the curiosity, you know, trying to make the viewer wonder what I might be talking about in the video, I've really seen an increase in views. So it just goes to show the power of writing intriguing titles. For example, using our travel vlog that I was talking to you about, instead of titling it something like 1 week in Paris, our trip to France in the spring or something, which would be very SEO friendly. Instead, you might want to try titling it, we arrived in Paris at 3 a.m. Here's what happened. Now, one important component of this whole strategy, I must tell you, is having a consistent channel. Now, I know that earlier in the video, I just got done saying how you shouldn't just hyper niche yourself and only ever answer frequently asked questions under a certain subject area. And that is true, that's very transactional. However, you still do need consistency because people will find you for one video and they are going to expect a similar vibe, a similar format, a similar length, a similar style in the other videos that they see from you. Think about the vlog that you're producing as a TV show. Maybe your show is like Friends, or like The Office, or like Gilmore Girls, or like Outlander. If you are in fact living in a world like Outlander, then please notify me immediately so I can join you. Like, for example, if Outlander all of a sudden published a episode of their show that was only 22 minutes long and included a lot of breaking the fourth wall and like interviewing the characters about the action going on in the show, a la The Office, viewers would be confused AF. They would be like, what is going on? This is not the show that I signed up for. In the same way, you want to make sure that your vlogs and their format become familiar to the viewers so that your viewers know what to expect when they click on a new video from you. Because one of the worst things when it comes to subscriber and like viewer retention, like keeping people coming back again and again, is if people click on your video, they expect one thing and they get another. That really breaks that trust between creator and viewer, and it means they're less likely to watch your content in the future. If there's one thing you take away from watching this video, I hope it's that if you've been thinking about starting a vlogging channel, you just go for it. Vlogging is definitely not dead as a format that people are interested in watching on YouTube. There are definitely lots of successful vloggers out there that are telling compelling stories and growing their audiences. In addition to growing an audience, vlogging is just so fun and fulfilling. It's one of my favorite parts of my YouTube journey so far, even though I've never really gotten a lot of views on any vlogs that I've made, but I'm so happy that I've made them because it's essentially like a moving photo book. Now I can go back and look at adventures that I took with my friends when I was in university and travels that I went on in the past, and it's just a really great way to document your own memories, even if you're not even concerned about growing online. But like I was saying, I really do believe that it is possible to grow an audience and build that relationship when you tell really compelling, effective stories. If you want to learn more about my own journey as a content creator and how I've navigated the world of YouTube and eventually built a six-figure business out of my presence here on this platform, then check out this video because I tell you all sides of the creator experience in this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.